position for black as well. I guess Hikaru is banking on like. I guess Hikaru is banking on like d4 and d5.
Crazy position. d4 again. d5. Lots of queen gambit declines so far in this tournament. We see c5, so not the semi-Tarash, but the proper Tarash, and that often means that black will accept an isolated pawn in the center, but compensating with active pieces. This is the main line, one of the main lines. Usually white brings the knight out to c3. Capturing this pawn on c5 often means you want to expand very quickly on the queen side. b4, put the bishop on b2, nice long diagonal.
And the anecdote here for the, no, not anecdote, antidote.
Or both, depending on the rest of your story.
It was antidote. It was knight to e4. I remember this being recommended by Jakob Borgard.
Yeah, very kind of typical stuff. And now b4 can be met in a few ways.
Yeah.
You can drop your bishop back now. This rook is slightly vulnerable in the corner. There are even ideas of queen f6
yeah.
in some variations hitting this rook. So white didn't play b4, instead knight f to d2.
Yeah, that was the recommended or the computer response to this move. And well, f5 is not something I've seen before.
f5 clearly isn't something that Tabatabaei has seen either. Nakamura has been playing this opening in recent times. He played it, I believe, in Qatar a few times just a couple of weeks ago. So it shouldn't have come as a surprise to Tabatabaei, especially if he's playing a3. Kind of, as you said, knight e4 is the known move, is the main move. And yes, f5 may be slightly rare, but surely it's a move that you check out. It looks like the most ambitious move from black. And here we do see a response from Tabatabaei. He plays the move b4.
And okay, I just checked the opening database, and I started thinking maybe I've actually played against f5. This is the problem with me these days. You know how a lot of the players can remember their own games? I literally can't remember them. I'm thinking I've played knight c3.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you play b4, you should have played it b4, this move.
Yeah.
Knight c3 now, I do believe is the main move. I've seen this being played multiple times. You're kind of accepting that your pawn structure is slightly worsened here with white, but at the same time f5 is a move that black really wants to take back.
Exactly, yeah.
The king is always going to be vulnerable, even if you castle kingside now. This pawn kind of stuck in limbo, doesn't really want to be on f5. But yeah, instead, playing b4 shows that firstly, he wants to surprise Nakamura. Secondly, maybe he's just freestyling.
Yeah, I think he is just freestyling. Actually, just checking the database, no one has ever played b4.
Okay, interesting. It does feel like a bit of a mishmash of plans normally. Yeah, if you play b4, why not on the previous move? Your knight would be on a better square. A sacrifice maybe, but at the very least, black could.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way, yeah. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a strive. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. just come. We must never stop the way. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into life. Life is happy but it's so insane.
Trying to leave the minor pieces on the board and just to focus on locking out the rook on c3.
Yeah, locking this rook out. I think long term this would be what you want.
But
Unless there's like e5 trying to remove this bishop. Although I do have a funny feeling I'm going to walk into some tricks and tactics along the e file potentially.
rook e6.
Maybe now I'll march up the board. Forward. King march. Who's winning? Who's better? I'm inspired by the Eric Icy game we saw earlier today with the brave
Getting
adventurous
away
king.
with it, David.
I've got away with worse positions in my life than this one, but it does feel like white is struggling.
Interesting.
So
What other moves can you play?
what else? Rook to d3, but I'm reluctant to trade off this passive rook that you highlighted. Nakamura, he's looking at something and it does look like he's staring towards the white knight and his eyes are darting across the board, calculation mode.
Okay, so if you go bishop takes knight, it is the most important move. This takes.
Let's take the black king,
Okay.
the white king moves.
And
I wonder whether you could calculate very forcing lines, a rook to d3, rook takes pawn,
rook behind the passport.
driving white's rook back. And for example here, you could paralyze the white rook, and you'd have to calculate in a game such as this one where it looks like you're winning, but maybe white's just in time to defend everything. For example, a king and pawn game like this, you have to calculate very well, but I think white's just in time before the black king gets one square across. If it gets to e4, it's actually winning, but I think you're in time to cut it off, and white will hold the draw. So this is the type of thing, the long variation that's going through his mind right now, Nakamura. Let's wait to see whether he finds a better move. The
Yep.
bishop takes knight.
And let's quickly take a look at the